So I want to know about your crush. I always ask how and when your crush for puppetry happened.
My crush for puppetry. That is a long tale. So get comfortable and have a warm cup of tea, I hope. And here we go. It was a long, long time ago it was. In the 1980s. Ooh. Well, of course, I grew up with Jim Henson. Everyone is referring to Jim Henson. He's the godfather for growing up in America. The Fraggle Rock, the Muppets, Sesame Street, Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, seeing all that stuff. But I saw it before I even really knew the word puppet. I didn't really know that those were puppets. I just saw these characters and loved them. I was like, what? And I was obsessed with Jim Henson and his beard. I loved his beard. And in fact, this fellow right here, you probably see with the beard. I think he came out a little Jim Henson-y. I think I put a little of Jim Henson's beard in there. That's Herbert Fiendwald, the miller of the Rumpelstiltskin opera, which I'm working on. But there was 3 moments in life where this crush I like how you say crush, that this happened. As a kid, I wasn't really into Legos and those kinds of things. I didn't have that. I had action figures though. And I was always playing with my action figures and doing voices for them and having these intricate, long, stories I would enact for hours, shut away in my room. My parents probably loved that. He's just happy in there playing with his action figures for hours. And so, but again, I didn't realize that was puppetry. But then as a teenager, I got introduced to this horror movie called Puppet Master. I don't know if anyone has mentioned this Puppet Master horror movie.
Yeah, you can write in the chat if you know this movie, people.
You know this movie. It's spawned into 10 movies, but the first one came out in the late 80s, and the first 3, I think the third one came out 93, but they're horror movies. They're kind of like B horror movies. And I have a soft spot for B horror movies, I gotta say. And I was a member of the company that produced Full Moon. I had the Full Moon t-shirt. I was just obsessed. I bought all the Puppet Master puppets, and the story was really fascinating because it was about this puppeteer in Nazi Germany who was carving these puppets after his friends would be shot down or killed. He would take in essence their soul and put it in a puppet, and they would be moving without strings. But the puppets were just amazing, and I thought, wow, these puppets have souls, and they're alive, and these are his friends. And that really made a huge influence on me, and I was thinking, I want to become a puppet carver and have a puppet trunk, and I want to tour with puppet shows all around the world. But then I got sidetracked by music. After that puppet crush number 2, recorded a bunch of records, and then I saw this film called O Fortuna. And it was a documentary about the German composer Karl Orff, who is my favorite composer of all time. And in this film, there is a scene of marionettes enacting one of Karl Orff's operas, Der Mond. And I was it hit me so hard, this footage of these marionettes singing this opera, and done so intricately. It was incredible. And I got in touch with the director of the film. I found out where he shot that scene, who this marionette troupe was. He told me it was in Germany. So I went to Germany, to Dusseldorf, to the Dusseldorf Marionette Theater, met these people, met all the puppets, and got to go backstage and had this whole puppetry world open up to me, all over Germany, visiting different puppet theaters, and then studying puppet carving in Prague at this school, Puppets in Prague, in Czech Republic. And that's where I carved my first marionette, Rumpelstiltskin. He's just hanging back here right now, but he is alive. he does. I think when puppeteers are talking about inanimate objects coming to life in their hands and this art, but to me, puppets are always animate. They are always alive. And any puppeteer, I think, will tell you, the more you work with a puppet, a certain puppet, the more soul that puppet has, the more of a spirit he has. And after 20, 30, 40 years, you pick up that puppet, you don't even have to think about it. Out comes the voice, and out comes all the little movements, and he's just doing his thing. And it's just second nature. And it's because you put a part of your soul in there. And I have to tell you a story. Can I do that?
Yeah, for sure.
So Rumpelstiltskin was the first puppet I carved. I made him in Prague, but then I came home and I had to I made new hands for him. I wanted bigger hands. I did this. And then I put on his eyebrows, that hair you see back there, coming, his eyebrows. And that was the last thing. And I was home alone that night. And I put the eyebrows on, and I looked at him, and he became alive in that moment. And I was actually kind of scared. I had a fear run through me that he was going to be walking around the house at night and coming into my room. And I didn't know what he was going to do. And so I shut my bedroom door that night, which I would normally leave open. And you'd hear about these old stories of puppet carvers, and they're putting a part of their soul into their puppets.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, then I must be afraid of my own soul. But I think I got sidetracked on your question.